What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wrestling with Whiskey Weekly. I am your host, Matthew Raywalt, the wrestler with too much whiskey. And I appreciate you guys being here. We are going to get into a triple review tonight. That's right. We've got three reviews. One of them is two different offerings. So technically, we got four things to taste tonight. Going to get an idea of some of these are brand new products. Some of these are barrel picks. One of these, the one we'll be starting with even, is this club, this group, you guys, the Wrestling with Whiskey faithful. Some of you may remember several months back, we picked this very barrel of Remus Reserve, and I'm so excited that it is here. For those of you who've gotten it, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. Of course, we'll start off tonight before we get into everything. What are you drinking? I'm drinking nothing at the moment because I got four things to dive into. So I'm not going to go cray. At least not yet. So yeah, I want to hear from you guys. If you have had the Remus pick, let me know what you think. This is before I'm tasting it again. I literally got it a couple days. Like I'm halfway through the bottle. I got it a couple days ago, and I've also been gone a lot. But ooh, Zaza! Like I'm thinking about going back, and I'm not going to clear the shelf, but I'm getting 2 or 3 backups. I think if I can. I really, really like our pick. I'll get into why when we do the formal tasting and all that stuff. It hits all the almost every single right note for me when it comes to bourbon. And again, we'll get into that more in depth. But again, I want to know what you guys are drinking. Eric in the chat got the Ofo barrel strength. Ooh, the dad's drinking bourbon pick. Love the dad's drinking bourbon. Awesome guys. I'll have to get them on the show sometime. By the way, random wrestle connection that I found, if people are curious. So many of you know the oh my god, I'm blanking on their name. They're gonna hate me. Dan and Sean. Oh my god, Bourbon Junkies. Oh my god. I haven't even started drinking yet. Bourbon Junkies, who have a crazy successful whiskey channel. You guys, teach me your ways. The Bourbon Junkies. Turns out we have a wrestling friend connection between the Bourbon Junkies and I. So they're from Michigan, and their friend, if many of you watch Impact Wrestling, is Jake something. I think he said they either went to high school or college together. And he's like, yeah, he goes, oh, you do the bourbon show kind of stuff, right? He's like, maybe you know these guys. Some friends of mine, they started a channel and it really blew up. And I'm like, yeah, I watched several guys or, several channels. Let me know who they are. He's like, I can't think of their name. I'm like, well, what are their names? And he's like, Sean and Dan. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, hell yeah, I know who they are. Yeah, they've blown up huge. So yeah, Jake something, who I actually got to wrestle twice at the last set of Impact tapings, is friends with the Bourbon Junkies. So I'm like, I love it. It's a small freaking world. I love little stuff like that. It's very, very cool. I'm very, very excited for it. So hopefully I'll get to wrestle him again, man. But too bad Jake doesn't drink though. I invited him. I wanted to have him on Straight Shooting. Jake does not drink. So I don't think we'll be doing that. Doesn't mean we won't do other stuff together, but not for that. But am going to be having D'Lo Brown on very, very soon, getting that recorded. In fact, I got to talk to him. I got to reach out to him and confirm that time. Because you missing looking at the real deal now. Oh, baby. We got Lutra in the house. Drinking some Weller SR. Oh, my goodness gracious. And Scorpion as well. 2 of our members of the channel. Thank you so much for that. Got some Nika in the glass. Nika, regular Nika from the barrel. Some good stuff. Either way, Nika makes really good Japanese whiskey. But you know what? Without further ado, yeah, if you want to be a part of these, you have an ideas, you have something you want to share, you can always reach me, wrestlingwithwhiskey@gmail.com. It's the best way to talk about whiskey stuff, guest suggestions. I mean, you can always pop them here. Find me on social media. That's always easy too. But a nice formal recorded way is always to shoot an email if you ever want that. But let's get into our first little review of the evening, shall we? Okay. Well, no, I am going to start off with our pick. Is this because I'm excited about it? I am excited about it. So, boom. Yes, check what you got to know. You got to know what you're drinking, Scorp. Jimmy in the chat, welcome, welcome, welcome in. Gimmick infringement. I don't infringe upon anybody's gimmick. I just create my own. I am a gimmick machine. So, our first review today is going to be a bottle you can see I have worked quite a bit on already. This is a Remus Reserve pick that we chose as part of the club here, as part of the audience, part of the crew here, and the Wrestling with Whiskey channel. Several months back, we got three of our members together with us, and we picked a barrel of Remus Reserve. This is MGP's in-house brand, cash strength, and we ended up picking a 36% rye, the very popular classic high rye mash bill that MGP does. It is not age stated, as these are not, but we do have a general idea that all of these Remus picks are around 4 to 6 years old, I believe. So, I mean, it's that typical kind of MGP product you see even going around in the NDP brands, the source brands. It's a lot of 4-year-old, 5-year-old MGP product out there because everybody's lovely 8, 10, 12-year MGP is pretty much gone, or tens of thousands a barrel. So this is what we're working with now. But as you'll see in a moment, for bourbon, 4 to 6 years ain't too shabby. This one ended up coming in, and this is one of my favorite proof points. This is one of my favorite attributes to this actual bottle. 112 proof on the dot. Chef's kiss. That is a perfect proof point to me. And that is full cash strength. That is uncut, unfiltered. What I love about that is, and as I pour a little bit here, I've always said this. Look, I've had a lot of love recently for things like less than 100 proof. I don't want to be a total like barrel proof snob. I love a good 90 proof whiskey. Eagle Rare at 94 proof or something like that. Beautiful. Russell's 10 year. Love getting those subtleties. But I do like an uncut, unfiltered product as well, because then you just get everything. Nothing has been touched. It's just like, what is the raw spirit? So I love that very, very much. However, when people go into the barrel at full 125 proof limit, sometimes it can result, especially if the product is not very old, you end up with a cash strength of 130, 135. And you know what? Sometimes it's fun to fire off a little bit of like hazmat to me. And you know what? To me, 130 and over is hazmat. I don't care. Call me a wuss. That is punch you in the face whiskey. I know when I tell people like, hey, we're going to try 100 proof whiskey on the podcast sometimes, they go, oh man. And then I tell them about things like 130 proof whiskey, and it's like they fall out of their chair. So no, I love it when a whiskey at cash strength ends up being somewhere from 100 to 115 proof. It's enough to be this full-bodied, rounded flavor, bold flavor without like punching you in the face, kicking you out of your chair, and taking your livelihood, just gone. Just gone. It's pretty wild. So here we have again. Here is our Remus pick. Like I said, 4 to 6 years old, 112 proof, high rye, 36% rye mash bill. And I mean, this has been open, like I said, about a week. About a week. 112 proof. 36% rye mash bill. And I mean, this has been open, like I said, about a week. 112 proof. 36% rye mash bill. And I mean, this has been open, like I said, about a week. 112 proof. 36% rye mash bill. And I mean, this has been open, like I said, about a week. Oh my goodness. It's so good. There's fruit in there. There's herbaceousness. There's lovely tobacco and like peppery spice. Quick highlight, everybody. Wow. Is this on the app? So this is my dad, everybody. Just got out of knee surgery. I've been getting text updates from my mom. And of course, the first word I hear from him is in a YouTube live chat. So everybody raise whatever's in your glass to Pops, to Wes. Successful knee surgery today. Hopefully, I think there's still one more on the horizon. I think so. He'll definitely, when he gets home, will deserve a good whiskey. I don't think they let you have bourbon in the hospital. Um, Dad, do they? I don't think that's. It's not exactly kosher. But yes, everything went well. We're very happy, and yeah, one down, and I'm pretty sure one to go. So thank you for being here. We will come and see you very soon as you get home and as soon as we're able. So cheers to that. Oh yeah, and we will. We 100% to walking, ladies and gentlemen, to walking with relative comfort. I'm losing that relative comfort day by day. Hence this. All right, let's go back to the tasting. Yeah, just super rich, caramelly, just a hint of fruit, nice spice. Doesn't burn your nostrils either, despite being 112 proof. Take a sip. Mm. Ooh. Warming spice immediately out of the gate. Beautiful. Nice, rich vanilla and caramel. Just a hint of like cherry, raspberry ish kind of thing, like again, dark fruits. Corn, black pepper spice, baking spices, all on the roof of your mouth is that kind of herbally, like black tea kind of spice. I really, really like that. Drinks heavy enough to give you a nice little punch and little kick and go, ooh, wake you up, but not enough to really throw you off your game. You know what I mean? It's not like a ooh, and you got to water it down or anything. No, like you could sip on this for a good little chunk. That's so nice. I mean, there's a little bit of rough around the edges youth there, and this would be amazing at like 8 years old. This would be amazing, but it's really nice where it is now. Good, lingering finish. Not crazy long, like a medium long, but it not overly drying, which I do sometimes like, but not all the time. Not overly drying, and just kind of a bitter cherry on the back, like right at the back of the roof of your mouth. It's really, really nice. Take one more sip. This is a good warm-up sip. It's just a lot to that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, yeah, basically, little hidden thing here. The liquor barn, I believe it's just let me double check. Theliquorbarn.com. Right? Not Liquor Barn, not to be confused with Kentucky. All right. Here, I'm gonna show this to you. You can get this bad boy online. Let me pull this up for you. Let's get that. There we go. Boom. Let me share my screen here. There you have it. This is available to anybody who wants it. They ship to 30 states. Like I told you, I'm going to go and get it and get to maybe 2 or 3 more bottles. I really want some backups on my shelf. But $64.99 right there, Wrestling with Whiskey Single Barrel. You can check that out. It's sitting on the shelves. If you live in the Illinois, Chicagoland area, it's sitting on the shelves, or in one of 30 states, which is most of the country, you can get this shipped to you from the Liquor Barn right there, theliquorbarn.com. Check them out. They have great selections in general, but they are the ones that have carried our picks. There's a couple more of our other picks there as well. I believe our Woodinville pick is still there. Our Untitled pick is still there as well. So check it out. That is available to absolutely everybody. Basically, I was blown away by this. I really, really was. So great. Good job to us. Good job to us. We did it, you guys. We did it. But moving on to the most interesting, I think, release. What? Elvis has a whiskey? Well, I said, oh, thank you. Well, thank you very much. Worst Elvis impression ever. You guys did not deserve that. You guys did not deserve that. But what you do deserve is a little Elvis whiskey. Notice it doesn't say bourbon. It's whiskey. And if that's not enough, 2 for your trouble, we've got a rye as well. Rye whiskey and just straight Tennessee whiskey. Not bourbon. Tennessee whiskey. I mean, he is from Memphis. Memphis is Elvis, Graceland, all that good stuff. And rye. But it is not Tennessee rye. Uh-oh. Controversy? Maybe. But let's dive in and find out exactly what they are, and more importantly, how they taste, because that's what we're here for. So really quick, those of you who are hanging around, do you want to know about the rye or the whiskey first? The Tennessee whiskey or the rye first? What should we do first? I wanted to see one thing. Oh, okay. Devin Simmons wants the rye. Okay. A little bit of background on this, too, by the way. Grain and Barrel Spirits recently announced a long-term agreement with Elvis Presley Enterprises. The result of this agreement is a duo of Elvis Presley-themed whiskeys. Both expressions were sourced and blended by what's described as an expert team of whiskey experts and bottled in Tennessee. Okay. Where Elvis began his career and called home. Both expressions feature an iconic photo of the king. Yeah, we don't care about the photos. And the labels feature references. Yeah, okay. Blended by an expert team of whiskey experts. Well, Devin wants the rye. Let's go into the rye. So the rye, which is interesting, is all right here on the back. They don't tell you a ton, but they do give you at least the tertiary information. Distilled in Indiana, MGP. Bottled in Columbia, Tennessee. Aged at least 3 years. So we don't know the mash bill. It is a 3-year Indiana rye, right? That's what we know. The back, again, also doesn't, it's a lot of fluff about, Elvis, Elvis Presley, hail the king of rock and roll, blah, 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 blah. Literally, the back label doesn't talk about whiskey, which I get. I mean, Elvis isn't necessarily known for whiskey or anything. It's branding. It's, in cooperation with his family estate or whatever the hell it is. But it's literally no talk of whiskey on the back of the label. In fact, on either one, it's Elvis facts. It's just Elvis facts. Looking on their actual Passion Spirits, which is where they're selling it through, they do have mash bills here. So for this one, oh God, I cut my finger. Apologies to those at home. So this, as you might expect, is a 95.5 rye from Indiana, MGP 95.5 rye. So 3 years old. I don't think we're going to get any surprising notes here. If you've ever had an MGP 95.5 rye, younger rye, I think you're going to know what to expect. This is 90 proof, MSRP of $49.99. So let's take a look. Quick look at the color there. It's light, but, looks a little bit darker. I'm looking at it on camera. It looks a little bit darker on camera than it looks to me in person. So strong, grassy, herbal notes for sure. Hay, pine, black. This is a lot of that tea, like almost Earl Grey tea. Spice, black pepper all day long. Very standard rye whiskey. 3-year MGP 95.5 rye. Tis what it is, what it is, what it is. Pretty simple. Let's take a sip. Nice spice. It's very light at 90 proof, which I don't hate. Kind of checking out, lingering on the finish here. I don't know. Like a medium-ish finish. Decent amount of spice, you know what I mean? But there's nothing jumping out at you making you go, ooh, or ah. It's 3-year MGP rye. It's nice. 90 proof, it's nice. It's nice. That said, $50 for a 3-year MGP rye. While I understand the whiskey market is, exploded and is on fire and everything right now, to me, for a 3-year 90 proof rye, let's ask. I'm not going to, excuse me. I'm not going to sit on my couch and sip this. I don't think it's not that layered yet. You know what I mean? I think this will make a great cocktail whiskey. It's got that 95.5 which I think is amazing. Honestly, for the same price, you can get New Riff Rye, which I think is a little bit more bold and interesting. Similar mash bill, but made all by them. This is fine. I would pay 35, maybe 40 bucks for the maybe. And I think it would make a really nice, old fashioned or Manhattan, anything you would use rye whiskey, like a good pure rye. But I wouldn't be sipping on this neat for long periods of time. That said, let's check out the Tennessee whiskey. Now, this is real young, right? So this is 2.5 years old. 2.5-year-old Tennessee whiskey, which is very similar to bourbon. This one we also do actually have a mash bill on. And it is not, it's close, but lo and behold, it is not from our friends at Tullahoma. This is a mash bill of 80% corn, 10 rye, 10 malted barley. It's very close to, let's just say it, Dickel. It's very, very close to that. Dickel is famously known 84, 8, and 8 is their mash bill. 84 corn, 8 barley, 8 rye. This is 80, 10, 10. So just minusculely different. Minusculely different. I'm curious to see if we've got some Flintstone vitamin notes, because I don't think it's just not simply just the mash bill from Dickel that gives it that. There's got to be something else in their process, yeast, fermentation, whatever. So all it says, distilled and bottled in Columbia, Tennessee. So this might be there, unless there's a small distillery in Columbia that they're sourcing from. I'm not sure. Let's see. 2.5-year, 80% corn, essentially bourbon, but it is Tennessee whiskey. So we do know it goes through the Lincoln County process. Okay, so my first note out of the bottle, admittedly, fresh crack. Paper? Paper is the note I'm getting. I'm going to whip it up a little bit. I don't like doing this a ton, but okay. We're getting a little bit more like whiskey notes now. Some light fruit, like green apple kind of thing. Yeah. Green apple, caramel, light sugar, like a brown sugar. A little ethanol. I mean, it's young, it's rough. Let's take a sip. Hmm. Got some bite. I mean, it's 2.5 years old. Got a little bit of bite. It's got some interesting, like vanilla cocoa-y kind of notes. It does not taste like Dickel, which is nice, even though it's a very similar mash bill. It's kind of a one-note whiskey, which you know what? At 2.5 years in the barrel, I kind of wouldn't expect anything less. I wouldn't expect it to be super deep or layered. It's got some nice, like I said, kind of rich rich, chocolatey almost notes. They go away quickly, but they're there. Decent amount of little spice. Honestly, that's better than I thought it would be. For real. That's also 90 proof. It's not bad. It's interesting. It reminds me a little bit, just like a tiny bit. It's a totally different process, but it reminds me a little bit of Chattanooga, Tennessee whiskey. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. That said, $50 for a 2.5 year Tennessee whiskey. I understand the reasoning. I understand the reasoning. I understand the reasoning. You're new corporation, whatever. I know you're sourcing, you're doing whatever, you're new, you got overhead, and it's a growing whiskey market. The price is going this way in general anyway. But $50 for a 2.5 year Tennessee whiskey, 90 proof. I'm not a proof snob. I'm just saying. It seems like it's an asking a lot. I'm gonna stop saying things like, well, when Wild Turkey 101, I know I've said that a lot. Wild Turkey 101, or even like Russell's 10 year, right, is on the shelf for $35, $40 everywhere in America. Why would I pay $50 for a 2 year freaking essentially bourbon? Seems silly. I'm not gonna do that anymore. I mean, those big heritage distilleries got scale on their side. They've been in the business decades. They can get that price down, all that stuff. They have the stocks, they have the scale. So I'm not going to begrudge anybody who's new, who doesn't have that leverage, who doesn't have that history. I'm not going to begrudge them that and be like, well, you should be charging less than Wild Turkey 101 because yours isn't as aged well, or it's not as proofed as well, and all this stuff. No, it's totally different, totally different environment. That said, though, $50 is still a high ask for this. Now, if you gave me something 4 years old, maybe bottled and bond, maybe 100 proof, 50. 50 might be a fair ask. Excuse me. As it stands, I can't recommend this one at $50. The rye is fine. The rye is fine. It's 3 year MGP rye. It's fine. If you know what? If you really like Elvis, I'm gonna do that. Like the people's elbow, something like that, or the people's eyebrow. It's like the Elvis. Well, thank you very much. Uh-huh. These prices got me all shook up. Uh-huh. So if you really like Elvis and you're a collector, throw them on your shelf. It's $100. You know what? If you're a devotee, that might be nothing to you. So throw down and grab it. But as whiskey fans, I imagine you're not going to be drawn to this anyway because you're all about nerding out about the quality and the make and everything like this. This is more of I think, a tourist play. This is more of a collector play. This is more of an Elvis, music play kind of thing. While they would like us to be satisfied as whiskey fans, we are not the audience. So the rye is fine. $50 is a little high for what it is, but it's perfectly fine. The whiskey, the Tennessee whiskey, was better than I expected for 2.5 years old, but $50 is still a very high ask. So if you're a collector, go for it. If you're not, I wouldn't worry about it. That's it. ADHD whiskey, Matt Porter in the house. What's going on, man? 2 down, folks. Uno mas to go. Uno mas to go. But yeah, it's more. I appreciate like the packaging's nice on that stuff. Again, I think that's the kind of thing that's going to be sold in gift shops at oh god, what's it called? Graceland. That's it. Fucking Graceland, right? Um it's made for that. It's made to be sold in the Tennessee Chamber of Commerce, the Memphis Chamber of Commerce, the Graceland Chamber of I don't know if they have a Chamber of Commerce, kind of thing like that. Sold around the stores. Somebody coming through visiting Memphis, going, "Oh, look, we visited Graceland today. Let's get that." It's not we. I'm almost surprised they sent it to me. I mean, I appreciate the chance to review it. We are not the audience. We are not your kind. We are not your kind, Elvis whiskey. We are our own breed. Speaking of our own breed, let's dig into something that might be a little bit more keen into what we, as enthusiasts, as fans, as aficionados, whatever the frick you want to call yourself, a stellar standout of the single barrel selection game the last couple of years, Knob Creek single barrel. These blew up when they were putting out 14, 15-year-old picks. I still think the 9, 10-year-old picks are 120 proof. Great distillery, all that stuff are still very solid. This is from Niche Restaurant here in Geneva, Illinois. One of my favorite restaurants in the whole damn country, let alone the state. It's probably my favorite restaurant in the state. They have an incredible whiskey selection. Vinny, the owner over there, he does a lot of what I mean, a lot. He does all of their barrel selections with some members of the team over there. They have incredible vintage whiskeys. I talk about them like I'm some like paid sponsor. No, I just love that frickin' restaurant. If you ever come through Chicago, do yourself a favor, take the 40-minute drive out to the far west suburbs. It is worth it. If you're a whiskey person, like, hey, go do Aurora or Naperville or something like that out west, and then go hit this for dinner. It's so good. The staff is incredible. The food is amazing. And the whiskey selection is one of the best in the area. I'm telling you. Like, there is not a hole in the game of this restaurant. So shout out to Vinny. Shout out to Niche. You guys are always amazing. I gave him actually a bottle of our Knob Creek pick, the Wrestling with Whiskey Knob Creek pick. So now I just literally pulled the wax off before the broadcast. I'm going to crack this one open right now. Let's read the stats off first. So this is Warehouse Z, fourth floor, Rick 31, barreled on November 2nd of 2011 and selected on March 17th of this year. So just shy, I don't know exactly when it was bottled, probably shortly thereafter, just shy of 10 years. So we're looking 9 and a half years, something like that. Scorpion and Lutra when they visited, they went and stopped by, had a great time. I'm so glad to hear that. Finish on a banger here, folks, on our strongest 120 proof. My palate is sufficiently warmed up. Oh, because some of these Knob Creek picks can get a little repetitive. They have that typical beam nuttiness note, but sometimes you can just find some beautiful, beautiful flavors, beautiful notes in these. And I can't believe this is 120 proof. Just on the nose. Just on the nose. Whiskey ASMR. Like, okay, we're done. But seriously, chocolate, peanut butter, baking spices, clove, cinnamon, a lot of typical things you would expect from Knob Creek, but oh my God. One of these days I'm gonna grab a barrel pick or something like that. And we're on this channel, I'm just gonna go live and play Apex Legends fully loaded. Like me being fully loaded. Make my sipping and streaming realization come to life. But yeah, man, there's some deep dark fruit under there. It's not fruit is not super common to me on the beam products, on the knob products, but this is like the single barrels can sometimes have them. Generally speaking, I don't really get it in Knob Creek products, but the single barrels can sometimes have them. This is pretty close to an all day noser. The nose on this is absolutely beautiful. Reset myself just to make sure I'm getting this right. Lovely rye spice. Again, like Christmassy kind of flavors, cinnamon, clove. Let's taste. Mm-hmm. Ooh, it's punchy. It's a punchy 120 proof. You know what I mean? It don't pull no punches. Um, but damn, is it nice? It really is. It's very. You get that really strong pepper spice, cinnamon and peanut brittle with again tingling spice all the way on the roof of your mouth, all the way to the back. It's like a nice pseudo drying effect. Not as much as I thought that it would be like on the first one though. I thought it would be a lot more, but it's pretty mild, but a long, lingering finish. This baby stays with you. This one just keeps telling the story, keeps letting you know that it's got something to say. It's got some like bitter brown sugar on there almost. Ooh, it's really, really nice. Well balanced. After you take a sip of it, I'll say this after you take a sip of it, some of the punch comes off as I punch the microphone. And it's like that first sip drinks like 120. You're like, whoo. But as soon as you let it roll over your tongue, the subsequent ones do not taste like 120. It tastes drinks very nicely, spicy and strong, but like in a really, really good way. Really good way. But yeah, I can't recommend checking out. And they sell their single barrel picks now to the public. Like occasionally, Vinny, because he's a friend, would let me try one or gave me a bottle before. But now, after COVID rules and everything, like they were doing to go cocktails and stuff. And so now they started selling their single barrels on the regular. Like there is a full shelf at the front of the restaurant. You can buy all their single barrels, and all of them are good. Trust me. So cheers to Niche. Check them out. Again, you come to Chicago, you come to the area in general. Take the drive, take the moment, get out there, go see them. Tell Vinny that Wrestling with Whiskey sent you. Matt Raywalt sent you. The Drama King sent you. I don't care. I don't care what you tell his candy ass. Just tell him I sent you. And he'll probably, he's the bald, he kind of looks like me. Bald bearded brother sitting in the back office. Cheers to Vinny. Cheers to Niche. Cheers to Knob Creek. Delicious. Mother flippin' delish. Well, that is our triple review session. Those will be chopped up. You can share with your friends later on. I will put those out as separate reviews to be viewed on YouTube later for anybody who wants to catch up or share with people who they think might be interested in the different reviews. If you have an idea for a show, for a segment, for a whiskey you would like to see reviewed, for something you would like my stupid candy ass to do live on stream, because that's pretty much what I do with my life these days, whether it's here or Twitch or whatever. I just make a fool of myself online. It's quite all right. I enjoy it. If you've got an idea, something you would like to collaborate on, wrestlingwithwhiskey@gmail.com is the best way to get in touch with me. Of course, social media, at Wrestling with Whiskey on Instagram, Wrestle Whiskey on Twitter. You can find, we do have a Patreon. I have been very bad with the content on Patreon. I know wrestling has picked up, life has picked up a little bit. I do want to get back to at least a couple times a month doing some interactive stuff on there, at least giving some early access to videos, things like that, some behind the scenes things too as well. So apologies. Thank you for everyone who's continued to support via that. You can find it there. Again, when I do get these podcast guests on, you get the exclusive opportunity to ask questions. I only ask my Patreon members. We have a Discord that's very active, always talking about whiskey. That's, again, only Patreon members. I'm on there with them multiple times a week and everything like that. But I will get back to more of that. I appreciate you guys for supporting. This has been an amazing, amazing process. But check it out. Check it out. Check it out. But until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Try new things. You know what? Maybe don't pay $50 to try new things like Elvis whiskey, but maybe. I don't know. Expand your horizons. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And always, always, always be wrestling with whiskey. See you guys on the next one. Cheers.